Is officially 2024, start of the new year, clean slate. So I figure let's talk about my most anticipated albums coming into this new year. 2023 was a pretty good year, but as far as like mainstream artists go, not too many big names dropped albums, unfortunately. So I'm hoping going into this new year, we get those big artists dropping big mainstream albums. So without further ado, let's just get into it quickly here. Yeah, Frank Ocean probably not going to happen. Rihanna probably not going to happen. Let's just get those two over with quick because I think we're just being delusional at this point if we think they're going to drop. TDE needs to have a big year this year. They dropped 0 albums in 2023. 0. None of their artists dropped anything. SZA, this Lana album she's been teasing, originally was supposed to be the SOS Deluxe, but is now like this whole new project. Thought it was going to come out at the end of the year. She teased a bunch of album covers. I think we'll get this one, hopefully. Doechii, this one has to happen this year. Has to happen. I feel like they almost fumbled the ball last year not putting out her album. She had a really big hit. This one needs to happen. If it doesn't, they're messing up. Schoolboy Q, he hasn't put an album out since 2019. Crash Talk, not one of his better albums. Shouldn't have to wait this long to get a new one. Yeah, another one I think is a need. J-Rock, who put out like 3 singles at the end of 2023, but no album. I think he's probably going to be the one that's up first to drop for sure. He is the only one here I'm like 100% confident is coming out. Rocky, ASAP Rocky. I don't know what's going on. He said at the end of last year, his album was like turned in and finished. Then 2023 came around. We got a bunch of singles. The singles didn't do all that well, and then there was no album. So I know he's also going through some legal issues. I don't know if that's gonna play a factor, but hey, the guy's married to Rihanna or has a kid with Rihanna or whatever. So I guess financially he'll be okay. J. Cole, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I would like a J. Cole album this year. The guy just seems to be getting better with age. His feature run this past couple years have been phenomenal. So yeah, the fall off, hopefully. Jid, oh my god, he already came into the new year cooking with a new song, a freestyle, but still showing off why he's one of the best rappers out there. Maybe a solo album. I think he also has something planned with Metro Boomin, so that could be great. Speaking of Metro Boomin, Future and Metro Boomin collab album. This thing's been teased for years. Hopefully we get it because whenever these two come together, they drop some of their best stuff. Dua Lipa. Obviously, she dropped the single Houdini. Loved it. So yeah, if the rest of the songs are as good as Houdini, I'm sure the album's gonna slap too. And it's been a while since Future Nostalgia. Maybe a bit of a controversial one here. Ariana Grande, her 7th album seems to be done, seems to be on the way. And I don't know. I mean, I personally might be excited for some of the infidelity writing that comes on this thing. All right, moving on. Billie Eilish. Billie, number 3, 3rd album on the way. Don't know what she's gonna do. I did like her sophomore album, but it was missing the creativity of her first album. So hoping whatever she does, she gets more into her creative bag. Lil Nas X, love him or hate him. I personally love him. He puts out the hits, man. He puts out the hits. His last album was really good. A little bit underrated too, in my opinion. So yeah. Two Phone Baby Keem. He's already teased this one on Instagram as I am recording this. So Baby Keem, hell yes. Ice Spice, she had arguably the biggest year maybe in music all of last year with no album out. So now hoping for an album. JPEG Mafia.
Damn,
Yeah, he
Peggy.
said that he was going to be dropping 3 albums last year. We only got 1, but it was scaring the host. So like how can we really complain? But this new one, he said on Instagram, he was originally going to put out on the 1st as a surprise album, which would have been great, but ended up getting pushed back. Regardless, it seems like it's coming out, so I'm excited. Megan Thee Stallion, newly independent. She dropped that one single, Cobra, which was really introspective for her, and I liked it a lot. Hopefully the rest of the album might be like that. She's obviously been through a lot these past few years, so just happy that she seems to be on the way to dropping something new. Lorde, I was not the biggest fan of Solar Power, however, I do love her other albums, Melodrama, Classic. Because of the reception to her last album, I think she said she wasn't going to have people wait as long, so hoping she bounces back pretty strong. Kali, new album January 12th, already confirmed. It's happening. It's going to be her more Spanish album that she promised last year. Kali doesn't miss, so I'm sure this thing's going to be great. Ooh, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, recently ran into TMZ and told them he's working on an album or finishing the album. I didn't love his last one, but the guy is a creative mastermind. Chance the Rapper, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure how his career is going to really shape up now that he's waited too long to drop this new album. This thing should have came out years ago. It should have came out as soon as possible after the big day. Apparently, it's coming out in spring. I don't know. I'm hoping for a comeback. I'm rooting for the guy, but who knows? I guess we'll see what happens. MGMT, I believe this album's coming out in March. The 2 singles for this thing have been fire. Cannot wait. It's been too long. Thundercat. I went to his show back in the summer, and he did say he was finishing and working on an album. It is what it is. I really liked, and Thundercat just one of the best bass players out there. Kaytranada also said his album was finished, put out a few singles that were great. Obviously, last year he put out the album with Amine, which I enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to electronic house stuff, no one does it as good as Kaytranada. Breaking news, the internet is back. They just posted on Instagram as of today, them in the studio together making music. It's been 6 years since their last album. So, yeah, and Steve obviously has already blown up since then. Everyone else in the band has been doing their thing, so can't wait. Saba, who I believe has a project on the way with No ID. Few singles came out last year, didn't drop. I guess we'll see the light of day this year, hopefully. Clairo loved Sling back in 2021. I think she said this one is coming. Cannot wait. One of the best singer-songwriters out there currently. This one, I don't know if it's going to happen, but please, I don't ask for much in life, but can we get a Solange album in 2024? Please. All right, this one is an interesting one. Clips, Pusha T, Malice. Didn't think this would ever happen again. However, they have been doing shows together. They previewed some music with Pharrell. I think they're back. But even if they're not, Pusha T hopefully has some solo stuff out. Amber Mark, if you're not familiar, get familiar. I've been saying it for a while. I think she's going to be a star. Her 2022 album, 3 Dimensions Deep, was fantastic. Hoping she gets a big push. Benny the Butcher, album coming out at the end of January, I believe. 2 singles for it, already out. One with Wayne, one with Still God Cooks. Both fire. Some of Benny's best tracks in a minute. Yeah, I have high hopes for this one. Charlie XCX, another one that's pretty much confirmed. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I was not crazy about Crash or the direction Charlie's been doing these past couple years. Just kind of hoping she gets back to that insane pop sound that made her so interesting in the first place. Cudi, Insano album is on the way. Cudi can be definitely a bit inconsistent, but the guy will always be one of my favorite rappers of all time. A lot of the reason why I love music today. So, I don't know. I'm always going to be intrigued. Ooh, Mustafa. Another person, if you're not familiar, get familiar. He was on the Metro album, dropped a single a few months back for this album that is coming. It was beautiful. He has connections with Drake, Dua Lipa, Sampha for a reason. I'll just say that. Interesting one here is actually Miguel, who I've never been like the biggest Miguel fan, but last year he dropped these 2 singles that were like some of the most interesting songs he's ever made. And it seemed like he was really going in a more experimental, alternative R&B realm. We didn't end up getting the album, but I'm definitely intrigued. Biba Doobie, this one's been teased, and she's been in the studio with Rick Rubin. So excited to see how that turns out. 21 Savage, it's been a while since a new solo 21 album. I know him and Drake were on tour together, and on one of those tours, Drake mentioned this 21 album, so hopefully he wasn't lying about that. 070 Shake, another artist I've always thought was really talented, but have never really loved her albums. Her past 2 wasn't crazy about, but saw the potential there. However, she dropped a single with Ken Carson, of all people, who I am not a big fan of, and she made a song with Ken Carson sound phenomenal. So, interest peaked. Blood Orange, Dev Haynes, I don't know. I hope it's coming. Skepta, I didn't think was ever going to drop an album again because he said he retired, but as we know, artists claiming they retired doesn't usually stick. But as soon as January 1st came around, he said an album's coming. So, hell yeah, Skepta's back. Idols, new album coming out in March and April, I believe. Kenny Beats is back in the mix. Last time they worked together, it was fantastic. Oh, no worries. Anderson .Paak and Knowledge, please. Please, this album has been teased for years. They dropped 2 singles in 2 separate years and no album. I think Anderson even teased a track list, so If this thing doesn't come out, I'm gonna be upset. Cardi B, I feel like kind of has to drop. It's been 6 years, 6 years since that huge breakout album. Still has been able to maintain relevancy through features and obviously social media. Yeah, she needs an album. She needs an album now. Lianne Lee Havis, if you don't know who she is, go listen to her self-titled album that came out in 2020. One of my favorite albums of this year. She recently posted on Instagram, her in the studio. So yes, Lianne Lee Havis, new album, 2024. Yes. I don't know if this one's gonna happen. Lady Gaga. I know she's working on the Joker movie, so probably not, but who knows? Lastly here, Tame Impala, Kevin Parker, another one I think is maybe doubtful, but we can only hope. Yeah, that's it as far as the list goes. Hopefully, we get most of these albums this year, most of them. I'm not going to expect all of them to come out, but hopefully they come out, and hopefully most of them are good. If you guys want, you can hit that subscribe button down below. Follow me on all my socials, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. We also just got the Discord. Go join, and I'll see you guys soon.